Otherwise, I will cut that off of you. Kahlan's hair for her tongue. A small girl's tongue.
Right. Well, and he tells her to bow or die. Like, he's gonna fucking murder the princess if she doesn't bow. Which, it's all just a lot. After Zedd was like, hey, you should probably stay in line, keep it chill, follow Kahlan's lead. I don't feel like threatening the princess was following Kahlan's lead.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, the overall goal here is to get in peacefully. So they can check shit out, and then they can get out if they need to without there having to be a fight or, they don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
Right now. This is rocking the fucking, yeah.
I mean, I would think so. I totally understand that if you look at it a different way, Kahlan is above everybody, so her aides should be totally, like, yelling at people like Zedd was earlier, but, like, I feel like the sword to a little girl's face takes it to a whole different place.
Yeah, Richard went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, yelling at a guard is one thing. Threatening to kill a princess, that's something altogether different.
Yeah. But Kahlan and Zedd don't even react to it. They're like, all right, that's cool. Which is, I mean, at this point you couldn't. Like, you're in front of everybody, so you can be like, Richard, that's a lot. Calm down.
Right? There's nothing they can do to really slow him down. That's not very typical. Please stop that.
Yeah. Of course, he is a seeker. So, I mean, he's above the law, too. So maybe that gives him some leeway also.
That could be. And they did make a mention that all confessors treat their people different. So it's not entirely out of the norm for Richard to do something out of the norm. As long as Kahlan allows it, it's cool. And nobody else really has any say about it. And I think that's what he's embracing here. He's like, look, we are in fucking charge. Even though you're a queen and very impressive and kind of scary with all your guards and, your army, we're the boss.
Yeah. Don't fuck with us.
Yeah. So he's like putting her in her place. Don't even You're here as a formality. We're here to do a job. And that's when Kahlan explains exactly what they're there to do. She says that they're to check out the dungeon. And then she's like, you will wait right here while I go do the thing. And when I come back, I'm going to talk to you right fucking here.
Yeah. So
daring her to go anywhere.
So just sit and wait until I return. And then on their way down, because they don't take anybody with them. She's like, this is our deal. So her and Richard and Zedd can like talk about their plan on the way through the castle, which I was like, that seems so risky to be like, okay, all right, we got in, guys. We're going to go check out the dungeons, and, like, we won't take any confessions, because nobody really wants a confession, and then we're going to go get Giller, okay, guys? Yeah, go team! But Zedd is very clear to Richard to say, like, stay away from that fucking painter, because he's not a danger to me or Kahlan, for some reason, because magic,
yeah, we'll be fine, but he can fuck you up.
Yeah, he could paint a spell around you.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting. According to Zedd, for a spell to work on somebody, you have to be able to speak the language that it was cast in, or you have to be able to understand the spell that is being put on you.
But anyone can understand a drawing.
Right. Apparently, this painter can draw a spell on you, and because it's visual and not spoken, it will work. So he's a painter, but he's like a wizard.
Yeah.
Kinda.
He's like a magic painter.
At this point, as far as we know, we have the people outside the city gates hawking their wares or whatever. Could be magic, and it's fake, but people buy it because they think it's going to help. This guy is like a simple painter who can apparently cast real magic. So maybe he's not a wizard per se, but he can use magic, which makes him dangerous.
Right. And it kind of clears up earlier in the book when Rachel heard some of the other people talking about how they didn't want a painting done of them by James. It wasn't because he's making ugly nude paintings. It's because the magic.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, this guy could get anybody he paints a picture of, or maybe he just paints a spell. It doesn't really say. but he could get anybody he paints to do anything he wants or to have any sort of spell placed on them remotely.
Yeah, so it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, the queen holds all of that power.
Once they get down to the dungeon, the guard tells them that all the men in the dungeon are sentenced to die, which is a little bit weird because you would assume that not everybody down there has committed, like, death-worthy crimes. So she asks them, did they all commit capital crimes? Like, why the fuck are you all down here?
There's bound to be a couple jaywalkers in there.
Right. And she finds out because one of the men tells her that they're all basically down there just for trying to make money to survive.
Yeah. Farmers, smiths, typical jobs, typical men trying to support their families, not doing anything wrong. Like we know the fool from earlier in the book, he's just trying to raise food, grow food for his family, but he's got to give everything to the capital, so he can't have any for himself. He complains, he lands in prison. Same for all these guys.
Right. So Kahlan at this point asks them if anybody wants to confess, to like prove this. Does anybody want to prove that they're innocent?
Put up or shut up, man.
Yeah.
Are you willing to get confessed?
Yeah. Are you all just kind of trying to win one over on me? And it starts with one man. And then literally every dude down there is like, fucking confess me, I'll tell you. Because, I mean, we're going to die anyways. If we're all innocent, why not?
Yeah, and I kind of, at first I thought, hey, maybe these guys are fucking with her. But they do face the very real prospect of being confessed, so they're probably not just screwing with Kahlan, but any one of them would be willing to get confessed to free the rest of them.
Right, and I think that's the thing. They're all kind of like bound in this together because they're all down there for the same reason. And that's what the first guy said. He didn't specify, like, yeah, most of us. Okay, there's like that one dude in the back. He's a real piece of shit. I'm guessing they've all been down there chit-chatting for a little bit about how Queen Melina's a real fucking cunt.
Yeah. No, this is her fan club right here.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And Kahlan is like real taken aback by all of them being willing to do this because she's only been asked by 3 men in her entire life to take confession. Usually she has to like be the one to, I'm confessing you, dude.
And like we learned, if somebody asks for a confession, that typically means that they're innocent because a guilty guy would never want to be confessed.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that only 3 people in her entire life have ever asked her.
I mean, which means like real good things for the justice system, like overall in the Midlands, because it seems like usually they're accusing guilty men then.
Right. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
They don't want to be accusing innocent men, and they certainly don't want to be putting innocent men to death because that would be awful.
Yeah, that's real
right.
Shitty. Right, Melina?
That's apparently not the case here.
No.
The system is fucked and completely tilted in favor of the rich.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Anyways, and that is when Kahlan hears a familiar child's voice calling her name.
You know what I hear calling my name, though?
What's that? Oh, I see what you did there.
Beer! It's time for a beer break, I think, Nate.
All right.
Are you guys all ready for a beer break? Okay, cool.
What are we drinking, JD?
We're drinking S'more Beast in My Cup by Pigeon Hill. This is a one-of-a-kind, delectable, limited release from the fine folks who brought you multiple generations on French toast. And it's 12 ounces of 10% ABV goodness, and it tastes good. I like it.
Yeah, the can says, get the satisfaction of s'more of our stout in your mouth. Chocolate, and I'm getting a lot of chocolate, and I'm almost getting a lot of graham flavor. Is that what it is?
I would assume because they do graham on toast.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they have graham flavoring there, and I'm sure that there's also a chocolate and probably a marshmallow note. I don't get a whole lot of marshmallow.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards, is that I don't get a whole lot of marshmallow, but everything else is there. It's really fucking good. Definitely get this if you guys find it by you. You can't miss the can. There's a purple unicorn with a rainbow-colored horn who is holding on to a stick straw with a flaming marshmallow on top of it. It is definitely a interesting-looking can.
Yeah, he's just taking a bubble bath and some beer. That's pretty cool.
So go ahead and grab some if you can. Jade and I are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
And we're back. And you know who else is back? Fucking Sidon.
Yeah. They have a goddamn child locked up in a prison.
Yeah, it's not very cool. The last time we saw Sidon, he was apparently, well, we didn't see him, but he was apparently taken away on a dragon with Darkenroll.
Yeah, I had wondered about this. I thought he was going to bring Sidon to Demonas, but he just left him here in a jail cell, and we haven't seen him yet, unless he's hiding away in a back room, which...
I feel like there is a weird thing with the timeline, because it kind of seems like Darkenroll went directly from the Mud People to Tamarang, which would be why he's in the jail cell, right?
Right.
Because in my head, it makes sense that he would have gone directly to Tamarang, been like, all right, put the kid in the dungeon while I deal with this other shit, and then we'll all go back to Dahara, and, you know, Dem and Nas can have the little boy, whatever. But timeline is a little weird, because he took Sidon, like, a while ago, while Kahlan and Richard were still in the village, and then I assumed time passed, at least a little bit of time passed, before Darken got to Melina. But I guess it's not really specified when he got there, because it was enough time for Richard and Kahlan to travel to Agaden Reach, and then almost to Tamarang.
Right, whereas Darkenroll left right from the Mud People with Sidon, and apparently brought Sidon directly to Tamarang.
And a dragon.
Otherwise, he would have gone back home, and if he would have gone back home, he would have left him there for Demon.
Yeah, because why would you take a fucking kid with you?
Yeah, why would you leave again with him? So, yeah, he must have gone right to Tamarang. We know that they weren't going to stay in Agaden Reach for any amount of time.
Yeah.
They were there, like, for an afternoon, and then they fucking left.
But they had to, like, double back to go to Agaden Reach.
Yeah, they did. I mean, and that's not an insignificant amount of time.
Right.
But I don't think they took as long as you're kind of thinking.
Yeah,
to
it seems
get
like it took
all
a
the
long
way
time.
around. And then again, Rawl probably, he can travel by fucking dragon, apparently. So he's moving, but he can't travel instantaneously either.
Yeah, I do think in my head it takes like weeks for Richard and Kahlan to do this like cross-country foot travel. But it can't take that long because we're talking about like winter's coming still, and they're not that far from winter.
Right.
So it should have only taken like maybe a couple days.
Yeah, we're definitely talking days, not weeks.
And I'm assuming that traveling by dragon is something like traveling by airplane. So it probably took Darken only a couple hours, maybe a day, to get to Tamarang from the Mud People.
Yeah.
It's something interesting just to think about. Like, for sure, I don't think Darken was like taking Sidon on like multiple visits on the dragon, though. He definitely went from the Mud People to Tamarang, and that's how Sin got stuck.
Dropped his ass off in jail and called it good.
Yeah. At this point, though, Kahlan is fucking over this. She immediately tells the guards to let everybody fucking go.
Everybody's out.
I say they're all innocent. Mother Confessor deems them all innocent.
Done.
Yep.
And at the slightest hesitation, Richard pulls out the sword and he fucking cuts through one of the locks. Mm-hmm. And he's like, y'all are good.
Try to fuck with me. And they're like, okay, all right, sorry. Kahlan grabs Sidon and tells the guards all the other men are innocent for sure, and you're going to lead them out into the city and make sure they're safe. Because we don't got fucking time for that.
Right. She turns around and beelines right back to where Queen Melina had better damn well be standing.
Yeah. Like, if she was pissed about the injustice of all these men being murdered before, when she found Sidon, she was just like...
Done.
Yeah. Top blown.
This is the point where I believe what they're there to do to find the box had officially become secondary for Caitlin.
Yeah.
When she saw the